Hello children, Shantla ma'am here. Today we will be starting with geography. Geo means earth, graphy means study. So study of the earth is geography, and here we will be studying about North America, the land of prairies. Shall we start?
Hopscotch! The world is split up into continents. There are 7 in all. And if you get the gist, we're gonna make a list from biggest to small. They are Asia, Africa, North and South America, Antarctica, Europe, and finally Australia. Asia, Africa, North and South America, Antarctica, Europe, and finally Australia.
Hey, my name is Asia, and more than half of the world lives here, but whatever.
And I am Africa with desert for miles, and my Nile is the longest river.
North America, start down in Panama, wide open spaces all the way to Canada.
I'm South America with animals galore, where the rainforest grows, cause the rain really pours.
I'm Antarctica, and I'm totally ours.
And I'm Europe, you're welcome, for the pasta, pizza, waffles, and fries.
I am Australia, some call me Oceania. I got a lot of islands, too many to explain to ya.
We are Asia, Africa, North and South America, Antarctica, Europe, and finally Australia.
North America is a recently discovered continent. In 1501, the Italian navigator Amerigo Vespucci sailed to the coast of the mainland. Then the continent was called by the first word of his name, Amerigo, that is America. The continent is mostly inhabited by Europeans. They made use of Mexico's gold. The sound source base combined with development in science and technology, a large domestic market, international trade relationship, development of good means of transport, etc. have helped North America to become one of the most developed regions of the world. So the nations means countries, of North America are very rich and called one of the economically prosperous countries. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the continent as a model for progress for other countries. North America is located entirely to the north of the equator. Equator is a line that passes through the right in the middle of the earth. You would have learnt in your 5th and 6th standards. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the continent in the south of the Arctic. North America is surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean in the east, the Pacific Ocean in the west, and the Arctic Ocean in the north. It is separated from the continent of Asia by the Bering Strait. It has a land link with South America by the Isthmus of Panama. A number of small water bodies are found here. Example, Gulf of Mexico, the Hudson Bay, the Gulf of Alaska, Gulf of California, etc. Gulf means it is the opposite of peninsula. Peninsula is the water is covered on the 3 sides and land on one side. Gulf means land on 3 sides and water on one side. A number of islands lie in the Arctic Ocean, of which Greenland is the largest. The strip of land that lies to the south of North America is called Central America.
North America. Physical features. The continent of North America can be divided into three physical dimensions: the Western Cordilleras or mountain ranges, the Central Plains, and the Eastern Highlands. The Western Cordilleras are young fold mountains like the Himalaya mountain ranges. These ranges are about 6,500 kilometers long and stretch from Alaska in the north to Panama in the south along the western coast. These mountains further extend into South America as the Andes. Its width is a maximum of 1,500 kilometers in the middle and decreases to the north and south. The Western Cordilleras consist of several parallel ranges running north to south. The highest range is the Rocky Mountains, which form the easternmost range. Mount McKinley, at a towering 6,200 meters, is the highest peak in North America and lies in the Alaska Range. The Alaska Range is found in the north, the Cascade Range in the middle, and the Coastal Range along the coast. The Coastal Range in particular rises steeply from the coast. The Sierra Nevada lies inland, parallel to the Coastal Range. Sierra Madre lies to the south, stretching through the length of Central America. Between the Rocky Mountain Range in the east and the Pacific coast lie a series of intermontane plateaus. They are the Columbia Plateau, the Colorado Plateau, and the Mexican Plateau. Many of these plateaus have been cut up by rivers. Some rivers, like the Colorado, have cut very deep gorges known as the Grand Canyon, which is truly majestic. The Western Cordilleras have many peaks exceeding 4,000 meters above sea level. A number of active and extinct volcanoes are found here. This is also a region known for earthquakes. Most of the rivers of North America have their sources in the Western Cordilleras. The Central Plains lie between the Western Cordilleras and the Eastern Highlands. They stretch from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Gulf of Mexico in the south. These plains are also known as the Great Plains. The northern part near the Hudson Bay is known as the Canadian Shield. It is made up of some of the oldest rocks in the world, like the Plateau of Africa and the Deccan Plateau of India. The Canadian Shield was covered with thick sheets of ice during the Ice Age about 18,000 years ago. Glaciers scooped out great hollows in the land as they slowly moved along. This resulted in the formation of thousands of depressions. When the glaciers melted, water filled these depressions, forming lakes. The Great Lakes of North America were formed in this way. They are made of 5 freshwater lakes: Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. Many short rivers drain the Canadian Shield and enter the Hudson Bay. The Mackenzie, an important north-flowing river, empties into the Arctic Ocean. The Yukon flows through Canada and Alaska and empties into the Bering Sea. South of the Great Lakes lies the vast lowland, drained by the Mississippi River and its tributaries. In the northern part, these lowlands are called the prairies. The Mississippi River, along with its chief tributary, Missouri, is the third longest river in the world, with a length of 3,778 kilometers. It forms a large delta before flowing into the Gulf of Mexico. The Mississippi River is richly celebrated in American literature. Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer was set along the Mississippi River. In the west, the plains are quite high, where they are called high plains. These plains have been cut by numerous rivers, and many deep valleys can be found here. The Eastern Highlands, or the Appalachians, are a 2,575 kilometers long chain of mountains stretching from the valley of St. Lawrence River down through most of eastern United States. They are not very high, being below 2,000 meters in most places. These are old fold mountains and are made up of ancient rocks. To the east, the Eastern Highlands are flanked by the Piedmont Plateau, which lies between mountain ranges on one side and plains or sea on the other. It slopes steeply down to the Atlantic coastal plain.
Physical divisions. The continent of North America is divided into four major physical divisions. They are the Western Cordilleras or the Rocky Mountains, the Great Central Plains, the Appalachian Highlands, and the Coastal Plains. The Western Cordilleras. These are the young full mountain ranges like the Himalayas of India. If you see the picture only, you can make out, no, it looks like Himalayas. The Western Cordilleras run from Alaska in the north to Panama in south. They consist of a series of plateaus, example, Colorado, Mexican Plateau, and form a series of parallel fold mountains. The Rockies are the most important ranges in the Western Cordilleras. The height of the range is low towards Alaska and it increases enormously towards Mexico. Mount Kinley is the highest peak and Death Valley is the lowest part in this region. The Cascade and Sierra Nevada are other ranges. Ranges is a group or a chain of mountains. The Whitney Mountain and the White Mountain in California are well known for their rugged slopes and scenic beauty. There are some intermountain plateaus found between these ranges. The intermountain means between the mountains there are flatlands. Plateau of Columbia, Colorado and Mexican Plateau are the important among them. River Colorado cuts the Colorado Plateau and has given rise to the Grand Canyon. The Old Faithful Geyser is a world-famous geyser in the Yellowstone National Park of USA. Children, you all know why do we use a geyser? Why? To heat water. So here, this water geyser sprouts, that means throws, columns of boiling water at regular intervals. The Great Central Plains. The Central Plains are also referred to as the Great Plains of the Prairies. They lie between the Appalachians in the east and Cordilleras in the west. The plain consists of vast expanse of flat to gently rolling land. These plains are formed by the river Mississippi, Missouri and their tributaries. Children, do you know what is a tributary? A tributary is a river which joins the main river. Just like crossroads which joins the main road. This is one of the most fertile plains of the world and is a good farming region. The area is covered by sheets and has resulted in the formation of a large number of basins. These basins are covered by lakes. Appalachians. The eastern highlands are also known as Appalachians. These extend from Newfoundland to Alabama along the eastern margin of the continent. The Appalachians are old folded mountains. Folded mountains means it will be like the Himalayas, but have been denuded to their present height. Denuded means the tall mountains, due to so many volcanoes and other eruptions, they would have come down. So it will not be as high as mountains or hills, but it will be higher than the landforms of the earth. East of the Appalachian Ranges lie the Piedmont Plateau and the Atlantic Coastal Plain. The St. Lawrence Valley is the land between two mountains, separates the Labrador Plateau from the Appalachian Ranges. They are rich in coal, lead, zinc, iron ore, copper, water power and wood. This region has a surprisingly large population and its importance in the North America economy is significant. The coastal plain. North America has quite a long and indented coastal line, except in the south, where the Isthmus of Panama is the coastal plain is narrow in the north and widens towards the south and west. Isthmus means narrow strip of land with sea on either side, forming the link between two areas of land. See the second picture here, children. The average height is 150 meters above the sea level. This is a low and relatively plain area with sandy soil which is relatively infertile. Infertile means where we cannot grow anything. Swamps and marshes are abundant, that is wet soil. The coast is indented by river mouths. River mouths is the place where the river joins another river or reservoir or sea, and bays on which many seaports are located. Rivers and Great Lakes. North America has a few large and short rivers. A number of lakes form the unique physical features of this continent around the Canadian Shield. The Mississippi and its tributaries forms the great river system of North America. These together drains 2/3 of the area of the continent and finally flows into the Gulf of Mexico. The Missouri is an important tributary of Mississippi. The other tributaries are Red River, Ohio, Arkansas, and Platte. The Snake, Fraser, Columbia, Yukon, Colorado, Mackenzie, Nelson, and St. Lawrence are other important rivers of North America. The Colorado, Columbia, and Fraser are the west-flowing rivers. They are short and swift and flows into the Pacific Ocean. River Colorado and River Columbia are the west-flowing rivers, and they are also short and swift. The River Columbia flows across the Columbian Plateau. The Colorado River drains into Colorado Plateau and forms the Grand Canyon. It is a center of scenic beauty and tourism. The Grand Canyon is called Natural Wonder of the World. Lakes of North America. North America has a large number of freshwater and saltwater lakes. They are situated on the southern border of Canadian Shield. Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior are the most important lakes. Together, they are called as homes. You just observe the first letter of all the lakes, children, so that the word homes will come. Lake Superior is the largest of all the Great Lakes and is the largest freshwater lake in the world. Chicago and Detroit are situated on the Michigan and Air Lakes respectively. In Canada, Lake Winnipeg is very important. Great Lakes serve as important waterways. So now I'll be just stopping this lesson. I'll be continuing about climate and natural vegetation in the next part.